Let them have.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, copies, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
All right. Welcome to ASAP Real Talk on All Sports All Plays Network. Well, our goal is to provide you with excellent debate-style sports coverage. And we're brought to you by Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry. All products are lead and nickel. All products are $5. Special offer for ASAP Sports viewers. Free matching earrings when you buy a necklace. Think about that, gentlemen. Christmas coming up, birthdays coming up, all these stuff's coming up. Now is the time to buy your stuff from Suzanne Paparazzi, and you can get it at paparazziaccessories.com, and that promo code is 160920. Hey, if you guys enjoy vibing with us today, go ahead and give us a like and a share and a comment. Also, we got some T-shirts for the guy that puts up the most comments. As you can see right there, how would you like a chance to win your very own ASAP Network T-shirt when you just become Viewer of the Month? Like it, share it, comment, like, and share. Everything you can do. Follow it. We're on Facebook, Twitter. I mean, we're all over the place, man. Instagram, and we'll get you that T-shirt if you're that Viewer of the Month. And we appreciate you guys tuning in to watch this show. Again, I'm your host, JJ McLovin. Top left corner, my boy Chris, the Shaggy Dude Brown. And we got Coach Cam, otherwise known as Dave Chappelle. And you'll find out later when he smiles. He gives you that $1 million smile. Say what's up to the fellas.
Man, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Let's get into it today. I'm ready. How about y'all?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to get it. Let's go.
All right. Hey, quick update right now. The Dodgers are down 1 run. Arozarena popped up a home run. So right now it's 1-0, bottom of the second, I believe, for the Dodgers. Will they win tonight? And that's kind of where we're segueing into. You know, I think the Dodgers can win. They got off to a rocky start. Their pitcher, Goswin, I know I say his name wrong every dang time, but he got rocked for 48 pitch, and they put him out after one inning and 2 runs or two outs. So, yeah, they're not looking to – their pitcher's not looking – their pitcher got off to a real shaky start. Arozarena took him yard, and right now it's 1-0, and Snell's got the mound for the Rays. I think the pressure right now is on the Dodgers currently in this particular game, not the series, but this particular game. The Arozarena has kind of put some pressure on them. What do you think about it, Chris?
Yeah, like you said, the pressure right now is on the Dodgers. Yes, they can win, but is that pitching going to be able to step up? Because like you said, they're started off to a rocky start. It's top of the third right now. The Rays are winning. If the Rays can keep up that pressure, the Dodgers, they might take an L. Now, will they take an L? Like I said, it's too early to tell. But right now, you can kind of see what team has the momentum, what team doesn't. And the Dodgers right now don't have momentum.
And that's right, because honestly, they're known for their starting pitching. They're not so much known for the bullpen. I mean, they got Joe Kelly and a few others in there, but they're not known for their bullpen quite like the Rays are. Rays got the second best bullpen in the league. So, yeah, these guys are hurting right now. Joey Woods, Rays win the series? I hope so. Honestly, Joey, I'd like to see them win the series just for the fact that I like to see Arozarena, the rookie who hit his 10th home run, get that MVP award. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Coach Cam, what you got?
Before even coming before today, I had the Rays winning tonight. I think it will be a game 7. But like I said, it's very early. Like I said, just take one big pitch, 3-1 homer, and it goes the other way. So, but I do think the Rays win tonight. I do think we'll see a game 7. And so far, the Rays getting off to a hot start. So let's just see if they can keep it up and finish out the game.
Hot Sauce Sports says the Dodgers are going to end it tonight. Well, I'll tell you right now, they're not acting like they're going to end it tonight. They kind of got off to a sticky start, and when they did go to their bullpen, they didn't pull out an ace. So that tells me they're not willing to pull out all the stops in their pitching to curtail the batting of the Rays, which, as we all know, with Margot, Lowe, and Orosa Reyna, and of course, then the plethora of other guys they have, they're not acting like it. So they're acting like they're in prevent mode and possibly looking for game 7 if it doesn't pan out tonight. At least that's the way they're dictating it with their pitching. But we'll see how as the game goes on. I think honestly, guys, I think if you see the Dodgers pull ahead, if they get a few runs and they get the lead, and their pitching starts to suffer again, but they still have the lead, I do think that could be a possible scenario where you may see some of that starting pitching come out. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. I think it's gonna be a good series, man. I'm still mounting myself for a very pressure-filled game 7, but we'll see if they can get past game 6 first. On to the next topic. Now we're gonna get a little bit of NFL. Should the Cowboys trade for a quarterback? That's a good one, man. This is my team, and so I'm gonna lead off. Then we'll go to Chris. Golly, man. I would only trade for a quarterback if I legitimately thought I had a chance at this season. You just saw them trade Everson Griffin to Detroit for a draft pick. So I don't think they're necessarily gearing up. And Jerry Jones already went on the radio and cursed out. And he didn't curse him out, but he basically gave him the business and told him to shut up. We ain't got a leadership void. He's still backing Mike McCarthy. So I think that they're going into a prevent mode and just try to do as best they can with what they got. And I don't think they're going to try to go after a quarterback. I think, if anything, they're going to try to get ready for the draft and try to get some more draft picks and see what they can do there. And hopefully Dak will come back healthy next year, and they'll just try it again next year. But what you think, Chris?
When I look at the Dallas Cowboys, I always said on this show this entire year, the problem is not the quarterback. The problem is the play call, and the problem is the coaching, the offense and the defensive side of the ball. But, depending on when Andy Dalton returns, I don't know if he's playing this week just yet, concussion protocol. But if he starts playing bad, the trade line is I think the deadline is November 3rd. They might start looking for a quarterback. And it's a quarterback out there that you can sign. McLovin, you alluded to this. If Andy Dalton's not working out, go get Colin Kaepernick. Go get Colin Kaepernick. He'll work for this offense. He can pass and he can run. He's mobile. When that incident went down, he was released from the 49ers. He was still one of the best quarterbacks in the game. He never had a bad season. Colin Kaepernick was really one of the best QBs in the game when he's at the top of his game. So, in my opinion, I don't think that's the first thing you should trade for. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because I don't know how they feel about Andy Dalton. But I don't think Andy Dalton is a problem, even though he's been playing bad. You can trade for somebody if you can't go out and get Colin Kaepernick. This team, they got a lot of problems, but I don't know if quarterback is the main one.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you're saying. What you got, Coach Cam?
I think they don't need to trade for a quarterback. They have to ride this out, unfortunately. If you go get Kaepernick, I know he can move a little bit, but that line is awful. Just because of the injuries that the offensive line has taken, Andy Dalton is running for his life, and that's what got him killed Sunday. So they have more holes than just the quarterback position, and it looks like they're kind of like in sell mode, trading Everson Griffin, getting picks there. So I just think that I just think they just need to ride it out. And get the highest pick possible, or possibly, heck, they can still win a division. Six wins can win this division. You just never know. This division is that bad, so it's not like they're completely out of it. That's the sad part.
That is true, but the players don't believe in coaching.
I get what Joey, and and I still think there's a lack of void in the leadership there at this team. I just do. Even though Jerry is saying there's not, I just don't see that. I think there is some animosity between the coaching and the players, but I
don't
guess
think they
we'll see
believe
how
in him.
that plays out. You know, team don't stand with dog.
Yeah, that was bad.
I don't know if they
that
don't
was
stand with
bad.
him. I mean, obviously they didn't stand with him when he got that hit.
I think
Right.
they were just
Nobody wanted to stick up for him. I get what Joey's saying, and it's true. I mean, nobody did anything about it. They just said, it is
their
what it
spirit
is.
was already
Whatever.
gone. Their
That would have
spirit
had
was
back
already
in the day
gone.
when Troy Aikman got hit. There would have been a ton of people going after it.
Oh man, it was.
But a
But
different
melee.
team,
you know
though.
what?
Different team.
We don't play in times like that anymore. I mean, this is a new generation,
Oh no,
new wave
they
of
still
football
do it.
playing.
Teams still do it, but you gotta look at the circumstances. They was already getting blown out. They problems with the coach. Their energy wasn't in there. But I seen players stick up for their quarterbacks, and in this era, so it still happens. So I don't know what what we're going. I'm not going to get too much into that if they believe in Andy
Yeah.
Dalton. We all know they don't.
You know who though? You know who else I think is getting blackballed is Colin Kaepernick. Though. I really do. I think Colin Kaepernick kind of falls in that mold of Mark Jackson, like we were talking, for different reasons, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both people are just the sport is not letting them back in because of the issues they have created, either whether it be with the religious issues or with the kneeling issue. For both of the basketball and the NFL have just blackballed these guys, and
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of see him in the same situation, and I don't know if he's ever going to come back in the league. I wish he would, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. If it was, I still think if it does happen, it would go to Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots. That's where I kind of see it because I don't know if Cam's going to make it to the end of the season, and they sure as hell ain't going to rely on Stidham. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to go try and get Colin Kaepernick. I think he fits more Bill Belichick than Cam does, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens. All right, we're going to move on to the next topic. So, Steelers. Are the Steelers the best team in the NFL? Well, I'll say my little tidbits on it. I think that, if you look at the record and you just look at the record only, yeah, of course they're the best team right now. I don't know if there's anybody else that's undefeated. But with that, if you watch that game closely enough, the Titans only lost that game because they missed a field goal. A field goal. Had they made that field goal, who knows where that game would have gone, right? So I don't know. I personally still, even though the Titans got a 1 next to the 5 instead of 6 next to the 0, I still put the Titans and the Steelers very close together, almost to the point where where you really can't tell the difference. So that's just my take. I think they're about the same. What do you guys got, Chris?
I mean, I'm going to give the Pittsburgh Steelers their respect, okay? They're dominant. They're scoring 30 points, only giving up 17. They have 26 sacks on the year, 51% third down percentage. They do have 4 interceptions, and ironically, 3 of them was last game. But when you look at the schedule and who they played, did they really have a dominant performance against a really good team? Like you said, this came down to a field goal. The second half was all Tennessee. They only scored, the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 points in the second half. They were dominated on a defensive end and an offensive end. Other than that Cleveland game, who did they really dominate? They were a player or 2 away from losing to Philly, player or 2 away from losing to Denver and Houston. I like this team. I do. I think they're great. But I can't sit up here and say they're the best team in the NFL. I have way too many questions when it comes to this team. They have some weapons, but can I rely on them? They have a good running back, but can I rely on him? That defense, I've seen stretches and stretches where they give up points after points after points. Can that defense be consistent? How would they be without Devin Bush? So I think this team, they're definitely a top 5 team in the NFL. But for me to say they're the best team, no. I know they're 6-0, but if somebody tells me that records mean everything, then I don't think you watch football. And if you watch that last game, you wouldn't know how close the Tennessee Titans are and the Pittsburgh Steelers were. It was just a slow start by Tennessee, and they could have won that game. So, no, my final answer, they're definitely not the best team in the NFL.
What you got, Coach Cam?
No, they're not the best team in the NFL. Not as of yet. Like Chris said, they really hasn't dominated a good team. They really hasn't really played anybody up to that point. And like you said, Tennessee dominated the second half. But also, I'm looking at teams like Tennessee's right there with them. Heck, you still talk about the Super Bowl champs. We got Kansas City. I still think that they're better than them. Also, we're just talking about the whole NFL in general, so we haven't even touched the NFC.
Yes.
I don't think Pittsburgh still is the best team in the NFL. Are they a top 5 team? Yes. I do like their defense. That trade for Minka Fitzpatrick was just took their defense to another level.
I agree.
So they're a top 5 team, but not the best.
What you got, Chris?
Now, they're 6-0, but this next game, this Sunday, November 1st against Baltimore, not going to go into it that much, but I will say this is going to be a test if the team is legit or not, because this is by far the best team they played. Then when I look at the rest of their schedule, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but, you have Dallas and Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Baltimore again, Washington, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Cleveland. This team can honestly make a strong case to being number 1 in the AFC and number 1 in their division. So how they played the rest of this year, we're going to see if this team is legit or not.
Amen, brother. Hey, listen, right now we still have a promo going on where you can buy a T-shirt for $25. That's basically for only $25. That's basically shipping and handling. Get your ASAP T-shirt today for only $25 plus shipping and handling. So, hey, these shirts are made well. They're nice shirts. I've seen them. I don't have one. Can't afford one. Ain't getting paid for this. So maybe when I do get a job, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but if I get a job, I might actually go buy me a name T-shirt. But if you guys, hey, for all you big ballers out there, though, hey, $25 get you a T-shirt. All right, let's get over to the next spot. What else we got up on the net? What we got next? Who's going to be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year? Who you got there, Chris, for your early prediction?
Right. Well, I had Jamal Adams, in the beginning of the year, but he's been hurt right now, so I can't say him. But for right now, the number 1 guy to me is Myles Garrett. The dude has 9 sacks. This year I thought he'd be the sack leader. Right now he's 9. Aaron Donald has 8. Shout out to Brandon Graham for having 6. And he's up there with tackles for loss, so he's dominating. I think it's going to be a defensive end. If I had to give it to somebody right now, Myles Garrett is dominating the NFL, and I think he might end up with 20-plus sacks in the year.
I'll be honest with you. For me right now, it's still Aaron the Man Darnold. And I get it, man. I've been watching this guy, and this guy goes through offensive linemen like they just ain't even there. I mean, they're double and triple teaming this guy, and he's even breaking some of those and making the play. I mean, this guy is a freak of scary nature. I like the take on Myles Garrett, but I'm going with my bad Darnold out there in L.A. What you got, Coach Cam?
I agree with you, McLovin, man. I got to go Aaron Donald. Just like you said, he just takes offensive linemen and just tosses. I think it was early in the year when they played Dallas, where he just took the offensive lineman and just tossed them. I mean, and like they say, quarterbacks, they say the pressure that they hate most is up the middle. And that's where Donald is bringing in. He just wrecks offensive lines week after week. And I understand Myles Garrett has been dominating. Trust me, my Bengals have played him twice. He's wrecked us. So I know what he can bring to the table. But what Aaron Donald is doing, man, year in and year out, I will give it to him again.
Yeah, it's hard to look past Darnold, man. That guy's just such a beast, man. I mean, Dallas Cowboys got a relatively large offensive lineman, and to push them like that, not one but 2 of them, and manhandle 2 of them. I mean, that takes a lot. And I mean, I would never want to go up against a man like that because he is just flat out dangerous. But hey, we're gonna keep rolling. Got Atlanta up next up for bid. Will they trade Julio Jones? Should they trade Julio Jones? If I was Julio Jones, I'd pray that they would trade me just so I could get some kind of competition under my belt, man. Honestly, he's not doing anything with Atlanta. They can't come back for nothing. The man, he ain't getting any younger, and he's still got a lot of fight and a lot of competition left in him. So, why would we not do the humane thing and give this guy a shot and let him go to a contender and try to get that hardware trophy, which he so richly deserves for all the loyalty that he's given to the people of Atlanta? What you got there, Chris Brown?
Yeah, I mean, I personally want him to go, but Adam Scheffner, I hope I didn't butcher his name. I probably did. Came out and confirmed that he's not going to get traded. And Julio Jones said, yes, I know what I mean to this team. We all know what you mean to this team, but your team ain't winning. So what does that really matter? You can have all the best stats in the world, but game after game after game, your team finds a way to lose. You'd have the game in the bag. You seen with the Lions, you seen with the Cowboys, you seen with the Bears. You all throw the game away. So you can mean all this to your team, but they're not winning. So if I'm him, I know he's probably loyal, but I would be sick of it. I'd be sick of doing my job night in after night out, and my team isn't doing theirs. So I'd ask for a trade. I want to go on a team that can compete. I know Baltimore is not going to get him now, but listen, Baltimore has enough pieces to go out and go get a Julio, and I think you get them, and they're dominant. Same thing with New England. Same thing with Philly. A lot of teams need wide receiver. I know he doesn't want to come out and say, I want to be traded, but if he came out and said he wanted to be traded, teams will be giving out 2, 3 first-rounders, second-rounders for this guy. So, yeah, they're probably not going to trade him, but I think we'd all love to see Julio on a contender team so he can get a Super Bowl and put an exclamation mark on his already great career.
You know what a good landing spot for him would be, honestly, and I hate to say this because I hate to hear Freddie's voice in the background, would be Green Bay. If he goes opposite of Adams.
Oh, that's the best 1-2 punch. That's not close.
Oh, my God.
It wouldn't be close. It wouldn't be close. No, I love Tyler Lockett. I love DK Metcalf, but they're not comparing with those two guys at all. Same thing with Odell and Jarvis. These two guys are two bona fide number ones that can play anywhere on the field. They never remind me back in the days when the Cowboys had Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper. And, I mean, that was one hell of a duo. Or even with the Rams when they had Bruce and Torrey Holt. I mean, it's more like that because these dudes are true number one.
Superiority.
Top 5 receivers.
What you think, Coach Cam?
Man, they're not going to trade him. And you know what? If I will hold on to him into next year, and this is why I will hold on to him, because they're going to give this new coach a chance to work with that duo, whoever it is. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're not competing; they're blowing teams out originally. So it's like their original game plan, whoever that coach, their original game plan worked, and it's just like whenever the adjustments were made, that's when they fell apart. So it's not like they don't have the pieces to win. They just got to bring in the coach that can instill some confidence in them to finish games. That's it. If they finish games, they're a playoff caliber team. That's what's crazy about it. So they're not going to trade him. I will hold on to him into next year and see how that new coach kind of see if they could get that work in with that duo. If not, then you got to look into trading him.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. If the Rams next year can do something with it. Logan Landers says Atlanta is cursed. Yeah, you know what? They are cursed. They've been cursed with the Hawks. They've been cursed with pretty much every the Braves. Man, even talk about blowing leads. Atlanta is the king of blowing leads because Atlanta blew the lead against the Dodgers. Falcons blow pretty much every lead they get. Man, what's up with Atlanta, man? Why does it always stand for blowing leads, man?
That's tough.
Yeah. Well, Atlanta's just gonna have to wait a little bit longer before they can get some good vibrations coming back to this city. It ain't gonna happen, I don't think, anytime soon. Not maybe 2021 will treat this city a little bit better. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Does Baker Mayfield's performance against the Bengals change? Did I skip one? I may have skipped one. Yep, I did. I apologize. What will be the best game for Week 8? Oh God! What do you got on that one, Chris? What do you got? I apologize, Chris. What do you have on that one, brother?
Now, as a homer, I got to say this: Eagles versus Cowboys. I don't care how hurt both our teams are. Our teams are all banged up. It doesn't matter. Division rivalry. Listen, we don't care how banged up they are. It's a division rivalry, and at the end of the day, whoever wins this is, taking a leap forward and winning this division. You can shake your head, but Jay knows as I know, we're going to every Eagles and Cowboys fan is going to be hyped up like all our teams are fully healthy, and whoever loses, their excuse is going to be, but my team is hurt. We all know what's going to happen. Both teams going to do it if they lose. Let's just be honest. But the real one honestly would be, like I said, the Steelers versus the Ravens. Both these teams right now, who will believe that the Steelers will be number one in this division 6-0? Not a lot of people would say that, before the season started. So they're fighting, like the Eagles and Cowboys, but obviously the two better teams. They're fighting for number one seed in their division, also fighting for that number one seed in the AFC. You got the Steelers. It's their first real test against a great team. The Ravens going up against a great defense. How will they be able to hold up? It's a lot of storylines in this game, and I cannot wait to watch it. I think this is going to be by far the best game. It's going to be dominant, and, it's going to tell a lot whoever wins this game and how they win this game.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, obviously, the big game for me, and based just because on their record, would be Pittsburgh versus Baltimore, and that's just because Pittsburgh's the last undefeated team, and people are waiting for them to fall and find out what team they fall to. And again, they're going to Baltimore, so can Lamar Jackson, he needs this win to further strengthen his credibility in the top 5 quarterbacks, right? And we all know Pittsburgh has a stellar defense, so. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously going to be a big game for a lot of reasons. I also think, personally, the New Orleans and Chicago game is going to be relatively good.
Yeah.
I think that's going to test to see. I don't know if do we know if Michael Thomas is coming back, or is he still out?
I don't even know at this point. I have no idea.
Because I keep seeing it come in, go out, come in, go out. I mean, first they said it was his ankle or whatever the issue. Then they were saying it was his conduct being the issue. Now they're kind of going back to the ankle. I'm not really sure where he's falling in with that. But I do see the New Orleans. I think the New Orleans game is going to be pretty hyped going up against Chicago. I think that'd be, in my opinion, the second best game. And then when I say the best game in terms of the suckiest teams ever, then yeah, I'm definitely looking at Dallas and Philadelphia. And hey. Maybe Dallas could pull one out. I'll be honest with you. I'm not putting any faith in the Dallas Cowboys right now because I don't know if it's DiNucci coaching them. Hell no. You better give me one hell of a point spread if DiNucci's quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys. If Dalton comes in, it might be a very confused maybe. By the way, that was a concussion joke, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I had concussions. I understand how they. Yeah.
That joke is terrible when you got to break it down to get that laugh. Man, dang. That concussion cold call, that's at least 2 weeks of evaluations and testing before we even get clearance. So I see Ben DiNucci as being the quarterback. And you can just go on ahead and tell you that's an automatic W for the Eagles.
I hope so. I'm not going to jump to conclusions.
Stop it. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't get a W against Ben freaking DiNucci,
you will not see me on Monday's show or Sunday's post game. I'm telling you this, guys.
Man.
You don't even. My screen will be dark.
Take that stadium away from them and everything else.
I'm going to cry my sleep.
And for the sake of time, we're going to go on to the next one. The one that I got out of order there. Does Baker Mayfield's performance against the Bengals change your opinion of him? Oh, Baker. No, I don't think it changes my opinion of him. I still feel like Baker's on the way up. They did win the game against the Bengals. They didn't lose it. So, hey, when you're winning, you're winning. When you're losing, nobody can talk about that. But right now, as long as you're pulling W's, and you're still going in the right direction. He just lost Odell. He doesn't have Chubb, although he does have Kareem Hunt. He still has Hooper. So, no, man, I'm not riding out on the man just yet. I think he's doing okay. What do you think about that? We're gonna go in reverse order. Coach Cam, what you got?
Man, Baker Mayfield, he ain't much of nothing, man. It's just the fact that we suck. Man, that's the problem. That's the problem. Our secondary is terrible. Our coaching is terrible. Like, tell me this. You have a minute left. All right. The team has no timeouts, and you're in press man coverage. Why? That's why they complete 2 passes of 30 and 24 on the drive. That's giving them the football game essentially. So I mean, Baker Mayfield, he performed well. He made the throws he needed to make, but we didn't. I mean, we gave it to him. My opinion is still the same. I still think he's not the one for this Browns team moving forward.
Oh wow, man! I apologize, Cam. I didn't realize I skipped you on the picking the teams. Let me go. Hey, I'm gonna go back one slide real quick. And I want you to give your pick of the week in your games. I was so happy to talk about how bad my Cowboys were, and I totally just skipped it. I was distraught. I apologize. Cam, who you got, baby? Who's your pick of the week, man?
Hey, man, it's the AFC North showdown, man. It's Ravens, it's Steelers. And not only I'm looking forward, of course, I'm looking forward to Lamar Jackson, seeing how he does. But those games with them two, they be some hard hitting matchups. You're gonna see some guys not be able to play the following week because of this game. It's always happen. You're gonna see some hard hits. It goes back to 90s football when these AFC North games. Yeah. And when you got the two at the top, arguably the two best teams in the AFC, you can't ask for much more.
Do you see though if that this will be like just kind of like more accreditation in terms of being a top 5 quarterback for Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I mean, even if he was to, say if they lose and he plays well, he'll be. I mean, he's still a top 5 quarterback for me.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But he'd have to play. You were saying this. He'd have to play well against the Steelers in order. In my opinion, do you think he had to play well in order to stay in that top 5? I understand if the team winning or losing, that's not all him, because it could be their defense, them losing or whatever. But do you think that his play has got to be on par against this defense for him to have validation to stay in that top 5 or even move up in the top 5?
That's fair. That's fair to say. Because the reason why is because Ryan Tannehill is playing well, and he's not in my top 5 as of yet.
I know you're very, very disrespectful.
So for the fact that he's playing so well, and it's a league where it's week to week, man. It's week to week. It could be the following week. Lamar be right back in there. He might have a 5 touchdown performance. So it's week to week with me with the NFL.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I was saying. Given the Steelers are such a great defense, that's what I would say. If he does well against that defense, I can see the validity of either, put him into the top 5 if you don't have him in there, or if you have him in there, moving him up in ranks because that defense is so well. I mean, he could go and play against somebody like the Jets, or let's just say some weaker defensive-minded team, like let's say the Eagles or something. I threw that in there.
Than you,
but I mean, he can have a great game against the Cowboys, man. He can go against our secondary. I mean, that's not, to me, that defense is not well enough to move him up or even get, you know what I'm saying? It's too easy. You have to have a top 5 or top 1 defense and play well against that in order to literally actually move up in that ranking, in my opinion. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Me?
Yeah, Coach Cam. I apologize.
Wait, which one? Who, me or Coach Cam?
Coach Cam. Oh, just because I was talking about it already.
Oh no, no, I agree with you. Anytime you perform well against a top 5 defense, yeah, you should like move up. Like I said, it's week to week for me. Like with different positions, wide receivers, it changed week to week. Because like I said, one game you can have like maybe 3 catches, 42 yards. Then the next game you can blast off. It's week to week. But I do agree with you there. If he plays well against Steelers, he can move up the ladder a little bit. I just can't see him, like, for me, I just can't see him moving out the top 5 just because he plays. He's so dynamic. Like, right. Between his running and passing, he brings a unique skill set, and that you just cannot duplicate.
Yeah, I totally agree. Chris, you agree with that too?
Yeah, I gotta be honest. He can have a bad game. He's not moving out of my top 5 to me. If we talking about overall quarterbacks, I love Ryan Tannehill. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he played bad, but he had 210 yards, and he had somebody have one 73-yard reception. You take away that 73-yard reception, the Titans couldn't move the ball. That's not on him. I'm just saying Ryan Tannehill didn't have the best game because how great his defense is. So I can't really look at stats when I look at. Because Ryan Tannehill had a good game, he moved the ball, but I'm not going to look at stats to determine how he played. I looked at actually watching the game. And
how many times did Ryan Tannehill turn the ball over in that game?
Let me see. He had 0 turnovers.
0?
That's what I'm saying.
Watch this. I'm going to ask that again. How many turnovers?
0.
You're dang right. And yet you still disrespect the man.
Well, ain't nobody disrespecting him.
No. He went against one of the best defenses in the league, 0 turnovers, Come on, man. At some point, you got to realize
How I disrespect
it's
him.
the hardest defense. He ain't going to throw 300 some odd yards against one of the better defenses. But
That's
if
what
he
I
moves
said.
the ball,
That's what I said.
and they're only one field goal away, then he's doing his job.
That's what I just said.
general
Oh my God. I just said that. Yeah, you the only one looking at disrespect. I said I can't look at the stats, but I know he played good. I'm not going to determine the
You
stats.
didn't put him in your top 5, did you?
No, because he's not
There
in
you
my
go.
top 5.
Sorry, case closed.
I mean,
On to the next
my
subject.
top 5 got better stats than him. That's all that matters.
Oh.
And they playing better than him. We can go ahead and move on.
All right, man. Hey, we'll move on to the next slide, man. Hey, talk about Amare on the coaching staff of the Nets. How do we feel about that gentleman? What do you think, Chris?
I love it. I love this move. I mean, I love players turning into head coaches. You know, not even just becoming a head coach, but even on the assistant staff, even as player development. You have a guy like Amare Stoudemire, how he's going to be able to help Jared Allen, even KD, you know, Karis LeVert, all those guys he's going to be able to help, you know, give them some of his moves, give them some of his pointers. Amare Stoudemire was all-star. You take away those knee injuries, there's a couple more very, very solid years of 18 and 10, 20 and 10 at a power forward center position. You know, what he did with the Suns was great. What he's able to do with the Knicks before, like I said, those injuries was great. Amare Stoudemire is a stud, one of the most underrated players in this game. So I feel like adding him to that staff, having him be able to work with those young players, it's only going to improve their game and it's only going to improve the Nets in general.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, as long as all these different personalities can mesh well together. I mean, like I said, you're not getting the coaching experience. You're getting, you know, his experience from his personal levels. And that kind of worries me. You know, they don't have a whole lot of coaching experience on these, on this team. And that's the only thing I think that worries. I like the bringing on the new players, but also if you're going to bring a new head coach as a rookie at being a head coach, bring in somebody on the assistant level that has experience to kind of just, you know, help him navigate those waters a little bit better, a little bit easier. I don't know. For me, I think it's too much inexperience and too much player name power. You know,
they have the same head coach on the roster from last year. He's there as an assistant coach. The guy that was head coach of them last season, he's there as an assistant.
So Jock Vaughn State.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sold on, but we'll see. What you got, Coach Cam?
I like it. I like it, especially, you know, for player development. You know, like I said, you need coaches that can relate to these players. And obviously, who can relate more than a former player who was just in the NBA maybe 5-6 years ago, Amare Stoudemire. So, you know, he's able to relate to these players, and he was one of the original. Now, I'm not gonna say original, but he was one of those forwards that kind of changed the way that we look at the power forward position. Someone that can face up, put the ball on the floor, athletic, and things of that nature. So, you know, it's only going to help. It's only going to help. I am a little bit concerned about the inexperience, but having Jock Vaughn there, I think he will be doing a lot of pulling that weight there, and he'll help Steve Nash and that coaching staff out a lot.
Wow. Okay. Amen. So I think, like I said, I've liked Amare Stoudemire for a long period of time, especially when he was with D'Antoni in Phoenix. I think, man, that was, and they had Nash. You know, I mean, that was just a very fast-paced offense. I mean, they were quick. It was such a quick team, and Rockets actually had a lot of trouble playing the Phoenix Suns because of that. But we'll see how that works out in Brooklyn. I'm kind of curious to see what we get in Brooklyn in the upcoming season with Durant coming back and Kyrie Irving coming back, and then now you get all these different coaching players put in there. It's going to be one heck of a season. I think it's going to be interesting to see how all that molds and meshes together. We'll see how that goes. We'll go on to the. Well, let's see what's the next one we got on here for today. Oh, I know I didn't miss that one. Okay. Yeah. Nope. T-shirt ad. Yep. How would you like the chance to win your very own ASAP Network T-shirt? Again, hey, folks, all you got to do is like, share, and comment on this information. Like, share, and comment, and you win a free T-shirt. I don't have a free T-shirt. Nobody has a free T-shirt on this show. So, but that's okay. We're going to give it to the fans. That's who it rightfully should go to. And Hey, like, share, and comment. Brendan Herrera, I don't know where you're at, man, but I kind of thought you'd have like about 15 posts on here to get that T-shirt. I guess we'll see you down the next go around. But should the Houston Rockets trade away everybody and go into rebuild mode? Oh, hell no, Gina. I'm not ready to go into rebuild mode. I don't think you have to go into rebuild mode. I think you just need to work with what you got. And really, you're only really a true big man away. And of course, now they still got to get the coach. I don't know who they're going to get to come in here and coach these Rockets. I know Jeff Van Gundy is still out there. Sam Cassell, I believe, is still out there. I personally like to see Sam Cassell come over because he's such a clutch city. But no, I don't think you have to go into rebuild mode. What you got, Chris?
Yeah, I will say this. If you're talking about who's available for trade, if I'm the Rockets, everybody's available except for Harden. You don't trade away Harden. He's a guy that ever since he was traded there has been dominating in the NBA. Only team since 2012 that has not missed the playoffs. James Harden is a stud. Surround him with help. Yes, they're a true big men away. If you have to get rid of Russell Westbrook to get that big man, get rid of Russell Westbrook. Obviously, you want to have somebody that comes in that guard position that complements him. But if you can have a chance to get your hands on a Miles Turner or even a Tristan Thompson, I think Miles Turner will fit better, only because he's a guy that can space the floor out. Even a guy like Andre Drummond, there's a lot of free agent big men. They're going to have to make some trades and move things around. But, when I'm the Rockets, you say, okay, if I don't win in the next 2 seasons, then I go into rebuild mode. But right now, I think they match up good against the Clippers, but they don't match up good against the team that won the championship, a team that won the Western Conference. So just like every other team in the West, they need to build a roster to be able to beat that team. Because I believe if they had the Clippers in the second round, they would have advanced. Any team that doesn't have a dominant big, they can beat, just like how they beat OKC, because OKC, Steven Adams is big, but he's not a dominant offensive big man. So they got away with playing teams that doesn't have dominant offensive big men or a team that doesn't have a good defense. So to combat that, you need to find a big man. You need to find pieces to help complement Harden and Westbrook if you keep them. Covington, PJ Tucker, your cornerstone guys. Because if you don't do that, this roster is not championship level roster. This roster might not even make it out the second round next year. It might not even make it out the first next year, to be honest.
I like that take on Michael Turner. I know we've been talking about Michael Turner. Every time the Rockets have been coming up for mention in terms of what should we do with them, the big thing you've been talking about is bringing over Michael Turner, and I like that. I looked into Michael Turner, and I wouldn't mind having him come over as well. So we'll see if that'll come into fruition. Coach Cam, what you got for the Rockets, baby? Do we go to rebuild or no?
Blow it up, man.
I like it.
Blow it up. And the reason why I say blow it up is this. Everybody, you're saying you got to get that big man, which is true. But it's like, how do you get the big man? I think Daryl Morey made all these moves, and now they've won their cap strap. 2, they got a whole bunch of players that's really why would I want to take them to get rid of a piece like a Miles Turner or something like that? I understand Miles Turner and Sabonis, they kind of conflict in each other in Indianapolis, but I can't see anybody's taking Westbrook's contract besides the Knicks, maybe. Just for being thirsty.
Because the Knicks,
but they don't have no big man to give up. So
I like Robinson.
That's true. They don't have what they're wanting.
Okay,
like
Mitchell Robinson. Okay, I do like Mitchell Robinson. He's a rim protector, rim runner, good rebounder.
I'll take a draft pick too.
But that's cool too. I just think they need to blow it up, man. I don't think they can win with this roster. I just think they're handcuffed. I just think they're handcuffed as far as salary wise. As far as player mobility wise to get pieces, I just don't think they can improve this roster much to win the title. So if you can't win the title, blow it up and rebuild.
Okay. What you got, Chris?
So Cam, so you're trading away James Harden.
Blow it all up.
Well, so you want to blow it all the way up. See, for me, I think I think you can still get a lot of good pieces trading everybody but James Harden. I think the Knicks will take on Russell Westbrook's contract. You look at somebody like the Charlotte Hornets. I feel like they'll give us some draft picks and maybe Cody Zeller, PJ Washington for that. So I think there's some teams that are at the bottom, that are stagnant teams. Because if you're not the best team or the worst team and you're that middle of the pack, then that's where you don't want to be. So there are a lot of teams like that. I feel like that would give up their big man. So me personally, I don't think you blow it all the way up just yet. Because if you look at the West, the Clippers and Lakers, and the Rockets are really the 3 teams that their prime, their best player are all, in that age where they're not the youngest in the league no more. But then you have teams like the Mavs and the Nuggets and the Jazz that are young, but we don't know when they're going to hit that stride. The Nuggets got there, but we saw they couldn't compete with the Lakers. So in my opinion, and the Warriors too, they're not the youngest team. Their guys are under 29, 30. So everybody's right there where this is their prime. I think James Harden is still in his prime. I don't think you get rid of Westbrook. Yeah, I like him. But if I would say this, you can get rid of Westbrook and find a big man and free agency, get yourself a good guard that can complement James Harden. Do it with your eyes closed. I don't care how tight those guys are. You need a big man. Russell Westbrook plays good, but he's so inconsistent. I just need him to be more consistent. I love him. I love, that duo, only if they can find a big man. If they can't find a big man, Russ has to go immediately.
Yeah, what you got, Coach Cam?
Oh, yeah. I already went, but quick rebuttal. I just feel like they just not gonna win a title. I mean, even with Harden, I'm not saying he's not a great player. He is.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see a title with it. And if that's the case, I'm all for blowing it up. Not half doing it. Not retooling, all the way. Get picks and scrap it up and build from the bottom again.
They'll get a lot for James Harden and Russell Westbrook and Robert Covington. Listen, all their key pieces are pieces that if they go into a contender, they're making a difference. PJ Tucker, a 3-and-D guy that can play the 3-4, the small ball 5. Robert Covington can play the 2, 3, and 4. So I will say this: if they blow it up, that future for the Rockets is going to look like the Thunder right now.
Yep, exactly what I was picked.
What's up, Mr. Brandon Herrera? I was just mentioning you. I was wondering where you were. We ain't heard from you. It's good seeing you. But yeah, I think this. God, I don't want them to blow it up, man, because then we're going to rebuild mode, and then we're going to be about 5 or 6 or about 3 or 4 crappy. It's like, man, I hate that, man.
Man, you see who I'm repping? We went through. Oh, can you see it? Some of the worst rebuilding I ever seen in my life,
man. So you ain't got to tell me the Sixers are still rebuilding.
No, we. Okay, let's just move on. I heard you about these Rockets. I'm looking at these Rockets, man. These Rockets are always underachieving, man. At least my Sixers on up and up, and we young.
No. You're underachieving too, Bubba.
No.
Yes, you are.
Underachieving where?
No.
Underachieving where? We beat every top team in the East when Ben Simmons was healthy. We were going to destroy the Celtics. The Celtics know that. He locked up every single superstar. Say it again.
How long did you last in the bubble?
We were out because our best guard was injured. You would lose if Russell Westbrook. Y'all almost lost when Russell Westbrook didn't play in the first round. Y'all would lose if James Harden didn't play. So what you really talking about?
Reflecting about how bad
I just said we lost in the first round, but let me ask you. No. So if Russell Westbrook didn't play that first round, y'all wouldn't have lost because y'all almost did. If James Harden didn't play that first round, y'all would have lost. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I wrong? When you're
even if you were right,
okay, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Last year.
What about last year? Kawhi Leonard hit a shot that bounced and bounced.
Man, just be quiet. Y'all ain't been relevant since Dr. J was there. Maybe Barkley.
Y'all haven't been relevant since the 90s. At least we went to the finals in 2000.
I didn't forget about Allen Iverson. Okay, Allen Iverson was the last time y'all were relevant.
That's fine. Y'all not relevant. Y'all ain't going to the championship neither. So you ain't in no man to talk. Y'all losing the Western Conference Finals in the semi.
You don't think the Broncos got a chance at the Super Bowl? Nobody takes it seriously. We're gonna go to the next slide and take that comment off there. That's terrible. The comment by Joey, put that comment by Joey back up because I didn't quite get all that one. The process was broke. Yeah, I agree. The process was broke.
It was broke when we re-signed Tobias Harris to that max contract. And Al Horford. We have 2 of the worst contract signings, but our 2 stars, it worked perfect. It worked perfect. But those 2 guys, I'm glad we got Doc, and we're going to see how this process is really going to go. Those contracts were some of the worst.
I wish we could talk about that. I wish we could talk about that one day because I don't like Doc Rivers, but.
Let's talk about it right now. Why you don't like Doc? You blame Doc for the Clippers' struggles because you look at all them times they blow them series. The players played bad. And they came out and even said it against that Rocket series. They were gassed because they went to 7 against the Spurs this year. Kawhi Leonard, he played good, game 5, game 6. Whereas everybody else, game 7, everybody disappeared. You look at when they lost to the Rockets, the players lost.
You got about 10 seconds. Wrap it up.
I say what I got to say. The players, the reason why the Clippers lost.
Now, okay, you don't blow 2 15-point leads, game 5 and 6, and you do the same things over and over. As a coach, you got to make some uncomfortable moves at times and pull some plugs you don't want to pull. But that's just me. I just feel like You lose 3-1 leads as a coach. That's on you in your
All
career.
right, quick question. Timberwolves, will they win a title in how many years with Karl Anthony Towns, crew, and the number 1 pick? So what do you think about the Wolves? What do you think? We already know that KG doesn't like the ownership over there. What do you think?
Who is going to me or Cam?
We'll start off with Chris.
I will say this: the Timberwolves are, I like the teams like the Mavs and the Nuggets, where their upside is young. Cat and D'Angelo Russell, and the pick they had last year, I can't think of his name. I think it's Culver. He's young, so they're not in win now mode. But with that first pick, if they draft right, they'll be a good team. They're not going to win next year, but they'll be a good team for the future. And I believe, if you're a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, don't be surprised if you have Devin Booker on your squad very, very soon. They came out on the cover. D'Angelo Russell said all three of us are going to be able to play together. If if Booker wants to leave, the Suns will be a fool to pass up that number 1 pick. Now you have the number 1 and 10 pick in this year's draft, so you can have some talent down in Phoenix. So I don't think your window is now. I think your window is in the next 3, to like 8 years when, the Lakers are getting older, the Clippers are getting older, and it's going to be you, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Thunder, because they have a lot of pieces, the Pelicans. So your window's not now. I give it about 3-4 years when y'all really in, serious playoff championship mode.
What do you think about that, Coach Cam?
Man, Timberwolves ain't gonna do nothing, man. They're not gonna do. They're perennial losers, unfortunately. With that ownership up there, it's kind of like my Bengals in a sense. Bad ownership. They'll find a way to screw it up. They'll find a way to screw up this number 1 pick somehow. I just don't think that. I honestly don't believe in the duo of Cat and D'Angelo Russell. Honestly, two guys that really hasn't won much. I understand he went to D'Angelo Russell led the Nets to the playoffs, and that was a good feat. But you look at Cat, it's something about he puts up stats, but something about him, man. He seems a little weak to me. He has to really kick it in gear as a leader. And start winning some games because it's looking like a bunch of empty 20, 25, and 12 nights.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's interesting.
We're gonna get on the next slide now. What do y'all think about Steph Curry? Was he the greatest point guard of all time? I don't think so. I mean, I think he's a great shooter. I don't think he's the greatest point guard. I mean, hell, Allen Iverson was one of the best in my opinion. I mean, God, John Stockton was one of the best too. I mean, Steve Nash. There's so many other ones that play that point guard position so well. In my opinion, I just think Steph Curry is a really good shooter. I don't know if I have him as great as all time. What do you think about that there, Chris Brown?
Listen, it pisses me off when people my age say this man is the greatest point guard of all time. I want to fight him. I want to go in a full Hawkamania mode. Let me give y'all a history lesson. I know you guys know, but the people my age, Magic Johnson is by far the greatest point guard of all time. He had to retire in his prime. His stats are already legendary. Just imagine we had 3 or 4 years.
Oh yeah,
his thing. Oscar Robinson up there, Mr. Triple Double, the original, Mr. Do Everything on the Court, the original, Isaiah Thomas. Oh, my God. You talking about short guys in the league? Listen, if Isaiah Thomas is playing right now, he averaged 30 and 10. This is a guy that could lead a team in assists or lead a team in scoring. One of the first really small guards to come up and dominate this game where it's dominated by big men. Over Magic? No, he's not. He's not the greatest point guard of all time. I wouldn't be mad if somebody put Gary Payton above him, John Stockton above him. I'm not going to say Steph Curry is not great. I think he's more than just a shooter. He has handle. He can play make. His best ability, though, is shooting. But to sit up here and call this man the greatest, congratulations on those championships. Congratulations on them. Where you at in the finals every single year, we're not going to get into that. But we can, but I'm not going to get into that. You're a great shooter, great playmaker. But for anybody to come out here and say he's the best point guard of all time where his stats don't even compare, you out your mind. You out your mind. Hell no, he's not the greatest point guard of all time.
What you got, Coach Cam?
No, he's not the greatest point guard of all time. And like Joy Woods mentioned, I was going to throw Jason Kidd's name in there as well. Is it something about the point guard position has changed? But for me, it's still something said about those point guards that get everybody involved, that doesn't need to score to make their impact felt on the game. Like a Stockton or Kid. I remember Kid had a 0-point triple-double one game. That's just the type of impact a point guard is supposed to make. And if you take away Curry shooting and he having an off night, it's like, he's going to get cooked on the defensive end. And what does he give you? You know what I mean? I mean, if he's not shooting the ball well, he's thrown off his game. And defensively, he's just not that. To me, he's not that.
No, no, he's not even. He's not that good. Nate, don't put that comment up. Listen, Nate, you should be banned from comments. He had one good season. Doesn't mean he's not even in the top 15. Isaiah Thomas is good. I think he should be on the NBA team right now. He's better than a lot of these backup, even starting point guards. But just because he had one good season does not mean he's the greatest point guard of all time. Nate, I'm disappointed in that comment.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you guys. Hey, we're gonna move. Oh, you know what else I think is pretty good though at the point guard. I want to mention though is even in I guess in today's basketball is Kyle Lowry. I love Kyle Lowry's basketball.
I love Kyle Lowry's game.
Now I do. Now it took me some years because he kept folding in the playoffs where I wasn't really big on him. But now, for the past couple of years, he's been having some good performances. So, I didn't hate him. I just wanted to see him prove it, and he proved it. So big shout outs to Kyle Lowry. My 2K player better than Steph Curry too.
Right.
I be dominating Steph Curry. I got that playmaking slasher. I dunk on him, Joey. What you know about that?
All right, man. Hey, we're gonna move on to so who's gonna be the face of the NBA in the next 5 years? I think the new face already is coming up is Luka Doncic. If you don't think Luka Doncic gonna be the face of the NBA in the next 5 years, you ain't been watching basketball either. Luka Doncic, hands down, he's already doing it. He's already in transitional mode to take over the reins from LeBron and all them. So I'm looking at Luka Doncic being the face of the NBA probably within the next 2 to 3 years. What do you think? No, let's go Coach Cam first.
Oh, I'm full-blown bias mode, Dallas Maverick fan. Luka's going to be the next face of the NBA in the next 5 years. And really, I mean, you got to think it's his year 2 in the league, and he's almost a 30, 10, and 10 guy.
Yeah,
and he still got room to improve.
Exactly.
That's what's crazy. He could become a better shooter. This is absolutely scary, man. His playmaking ability is like right up there with LeBron as far as getting others involved. He's the face of the NBA for the next years to come, man. It's Luka.
I totally agree with that. Chris, what you got, baby?
All right, so now here, let me answer this question in full. There's a lot of great young talent coming up in the NBA. So you got to look at guys like Luka, like AD, like Zion, even Brandon Ingram, the Sixers duo, the Celtics duo, and then by default, you have to say Giannis. Why I don't think it's Giannis? Because he's not winning. They wanted to be Giannis right now. They keep giving him MVP. They gave him Defensive Player of the Year when he didn't deserve it. They wanted to give it to Giannis, but Giannis isn't winning. So I don't think he'll be able to sustain that. Whoever is the new face of the NBA, ladies and gentlemen, has to be a winner. They have to not, they can have all the good stats, but if this player is not winning, is not leading their teams to championships, then they're not going to get it. So right now, if Luka wins a championship or gets there, he's the face. If he can't get past the Western Conference Finals, he's not the face. So right now, I think AD would honestly be my front runner, and then I think Luka is right there behind him. Because people forget, I know AD, it's LeBron and AD, but I think people forget how dominant Anthony Davis is. A 7-footer that can do everything on the basketball, that can guard everything on the basketball. I hate to say it, but I can't stand his dad running his mouth. But look, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't going to name players that haven't been drafted, but I will say this. To me, LaMelo Ball is a high upside. I can't put him over these guys just yet because he hasn't played, a minute in the NBA yet, so I don't want to disrespect these guys and their craft, but I do think LaMelo is going to be great. But yeah, like I said, right now, I think the front runner is Anthony Davis, but Luka is right there behind him. If Luka can get, into that Western Conference Finals, then he's going to get it. But to me, the next phase has to be a winner.
I think Luka's going to be that next face. I'm telling you, man. I think
I believe it.
Are on that trajectory.
I believe it. They got to get there.
I like Anthony Davis. I love Anthony Davis. I still think though that Luka's putting up better numbers than what Anthony Davis is putting up. But we'll see. Right now, Anthony Davis is riding high with LeBron James in his title. I think they'll get another title unless the Mavericks can get a big man or something like that. I don't know if anybody's going to take that title away from the Lakers just yet, but we'll see what happens.
Be honest to Dallas in the trade or free agency next year. Mark my words. You've been hearing from me and Jay McGovern for the past 3-4 weeks. I've been saying
I agree with that.
I don't think you trade for him. I think you wait till next year when he's a free agent. And
absolutely.
I don't think you trade for him.
And I think he comes. And if that happens, it's title.
And
You talk about 6'11",
definitely title
7'3" on the
for the next 10 to 15 years, you got the three best foreign players in NBA. You know, I don't have to explain it because I feel like I do it every show, but you know how I feel. You have Luka, you have Kristaps and Giannis, they're dominant trio. And I do believe wherever, I think his brother's going to go there too.
Yes.
One of his brothers might go there too. The youngest brother is good. You know, I think the two other brothers, they could be good role players because I don't think they're going to, want the bag. So if you got to play the bag for Giannis, you can get his two brothers for the low. They're actually kind of decent. Nobody's beating this team. Nobody.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're going to roll into the last topic of tonight. Is Scottie Pippen overrated? I don't think the man's overrated. I think he can't be on that many defensive teams, all-star teams, and be overrated. I think the man played well, and I think he was a great Robin to Batman. And no, I absolutely do not think that he's overrated just because of how many times he's been on the all-star list, and he's in the top 50. He's always been in the top 50 of the greatest players. So no, I don't see how you can be overrated if you have a certain amount of accolades to your credit on your own. What do you think about that, Chris?
Man, this one's tough right here. So, you can't take anything away from him. Hall of Famer, champion, great defensive player. He was named on all 50. But I will say this. For the people out there that are saying he's the second best small forward, the best small forward, the third, not even the third best, to be honest, there's a couple small forwards I'll put above him. Right now, I'm putting Kevin Durant above Scottie Pippen. I put Kawhi Leonard above Scottie Pippen, and I also put Dominique Wilkins above Scottie Pippen. And I'm not saying he's not great, but I'm saying for the people that want to, make it seem like he's the greatest small forward, he did this, he did that, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to take nothing away from him because a legend is a legend. I'm not going to disrespect his legend status, but to say that he's, better than all these guys, that he did this, he did that. He was a great Robin to, arguably the greatest Batman. Okay, he was the greatest Robin to arguably the greatest Batman. That's what he'll be. People want to, they say, oh, he was great. I understand he was great, but he's not the greatest small forward. He, honestly, he's falling out. He might fall out the top 5 coming soon.
Yeah, I who's gonna be the next Phil Jackson? Oh wow, that's a good one. I mean, I don't know if there is another Phil Jackson right now in the league. That's one of these
young coaches. It would be one of these young coaches. Like a Brad Stevens
I don't think it's happened yet. I think that might be still in the wings. It's too early to start asking who's the next Phil Jackson.
Yeah, way too early. What he would do, he wouldn't be the Scottie Pippen we know right now. I don't think Scottie Pippen was great. He's a playmaker, but Scottie Pippen wasn't LeBron tier playmaker. And I will say this: you're talking about small forward in the '90s. I asked all my uncles, grandfathers, did my research. I'd have picked Grant Hill over Scottie Pippen. I don't think he could lead a team to the finals by himself.
I don't think he's overrated, but I don't think he's the greatest. I still think he's a Hall of Famer, and I think he's had a good career. But I mean, we're not going to say he's the greatest, but I think he's had a good career, and I think he's rated, like Brandon Herrera said, I think he's rated okay. I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's right. Where, like you said, he might drop out of the top 5, but he's not going to drop out of all-star status. He's still an all-star. All right, gentlemen, that was pretty much our last topic. What do we think about Billy Donovan? All right, we'll answer that real quick. What do y'all think about Billy Donovan going to the Bulls? Will that be is that the right coach for that team? And we'll start off with, I'm going to go Coach Cam on this one first.
All right. It's just a real quick because I didn't get a chance to touch on Scottie Pippen.
Oh, no, hold on a minute. Go back to Scottie Pippen first, then we'll come back to this one.
I didn't get a chance to touch on Scottie Pippen.
I'm sorry, I did that to you twice. I'm going to spank myself later.
You're all good. I do think that Scottie Pippen is just a smidget overrated, and I don't want to disrespect him, but and I don't know if The Last Dance meant to do this, but it showed a lot of small moments for Scottie Pippen, like the '94 series with the Knicks where he didn't want to come out on the floor because he wasn't taking the last shot. Things like that. And, and Pippen body started to break down towards those last 2 championships. And it was really Jordan, man, just willing that team to victory. People didn't know Rodman was struggling. In '98, Rodman was coming off the bench in that finals. So, Pippen was just, I think, like I say, top 50, I say right now he's still a top 5 small forward of all time. I think he could fall out, but I think he's still hanging on. But I do think he's just a tad bit overrated.
All right, let's get on to that Billy Donovan question. Now, I apologize again, Coach Cam, on that. So, what do y'all think about Billy Donovan? Is he going to be the right coach for the Bulls? Chris, what you think?
I do believe he's going to be the right coach. You look at that last head coach. I don't remember his name because he wasn't memorable too. No, he messed up that young team. He messed up marketing. He messed up Levine. He wasn't the best coach. I think you bring in a Billy Donovan. Honestly, his record with the Thunder wasn't that bad. You know, he had players that folded on him in the playoffs. Let's just be honest. Paul George, was nowhere to be found. Russell Westbrook was Westbrook. So I think you bring him into this young staff, he's going to have the time to develop these players, a relationship with these players. You have Kobe White and Zach LaVine, who I think is going to be a dominant backcourt all about buckets that can do both things. You have Markkanen and Wendell Carter, who I think is going to be a great front court. You got, Markkanen that can stretch the floor and play in the paint. Wendell Carter, to me, is going to be a good center. You have Otto Porter Jr., who's going to play option, but you have the fourth pick. So he's going to have a chance to have a lot of young talent in the Eastern Conference where that 7th to 8th seed would honestly be up for grabs. I think he's the right coach for this team. I think he'll turn his team around. Not saying they're going to go back to the old Bulls of the 90s just yet, but I'm saying they have a bright, bright future down there in Chicago, in the Windy City.
What you got, Coach Cam?
Billy Donovan is a solid coach, and I think they would definitely be a better ball club. But maybe y'all can help me on this. Did they get a new GM?
I don't remember.
I didn't catch his name.
I was about to say, because if they didn't get a new GM, ain't nothing gonna change.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because that GM is bad.
I believe they got a new GM, but if they didn't, it's gonna be the same things. I mean, it always starts from the top. I think Billy Donovan can help that group just because they do have young pieces, and Jim Boylan was absolutely awful.
He was atrocious.
Terrible.
He was atrocious.
Yeah, he was terrible. The fact that he lasted that long was a joke. So they got some young pieces to deal with, and I think Billy Donovan can get the best out of them. And I can think they can compete for a possible 8 seed in the East, in the Eastern Conference.
All right, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. To Joey and Brandon, thank you for commenting. Hot sauce. Hey, appreciate you guys commenting, and all the other staffers. Thank you for your comments. It's been a heck of a good show. Let's go ahead and put that up there. Yep, and today's show is brought to you by Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry. All products are lead and nickel. All products are $5. Special offer for ASAP supporters, viewers, free matching earrings when you buy a necklace. Order now at paparazziaccessories.com, and that's promo code 160920. And if you enjoyed vibing with us today, don't forget to like, share, and comment. And if you do, and you're the viewer of the month for doing so, you'll win a t-shirt. You'll win a t-shirt. So remember, like, share, comment. Brandon Herrera, you're doing a heck of a good job with that. We appreciate you. And others can do the same as well. So like, share, comment to get your free t-shirt. If you don't want to try to win the t-shirt, you just want a t-shirt, you can buy it for $25 plus shipping and handling. So you can buy a shirt from us today for $25. Just pay your shipping and handling along with that, and you're good. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed vibing with us, like our content, we appreciate if you would drop us a share and a follow and all that good stuff. Guys, what y'all got for the peeps before we take off?
Man, great show. I loved it, I loved it. To everybody, tune in Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Thursday, Real Talk is going to get live. Don't miss it.
Hey, everybody watching, we appreciate you. We thank you. Continue to share, like, and do all that comment, and make the show that much better. We appreciate you.
All right, gentlemen. Brandon, Joey, Hot Sauce, and everybody else out there in the world, we love you. We'll see you next time. Till then, we out.
Peace.